The first time I saw Princess Saraline of the Valar Dominion, she didn't look at me. She looked through me. Her eyes, a luminescent violet that seemed carved from the heart of a nebula, barely flickered in my direction as her entourage filed into the diplomatic hall on Station Helios 9. She walked with the elegance of someone accustomed to ruling entire star systems, her silver blue hair flowing like liquid starlight, her expression carved from ice. It should have been an honor to meet her. Instead, it felt like stepping under a glacier. I was there because I was one of the few humans capable of fluently speaking Valoran, a language more sung than spoken. I'd spent years studying alien harmonics, voice modulation, and the emotional resonance encoded in Valoran speech. My role was simple, translator. But nothing about Saraline was simple. She didn't acknowledge me, didn't nod, didn't blink. She sat on her elevated crystalline chair while every other delegate introduced themselves. I said clearly, human liaison and translator, Liam Cross, and bowed politely. She didn't move. Not a nod. Not a hum. Not even a flicker of interest. Just cold silence. If I had expected anything different, I was quickly corrected. Thus began what people would later call the frost phase of our diplomatic relations. But at the time, I simply wondered what I had done wrong. The first negotiation meeting was a disaster. I stood between the human delegation and Princess Saraline, translating both sides with care. She answered every request with clipped, icy statements. We will not permit human vessels to enter Valoran star lanes. No. The Dominion does not require human trade. No, our scientific advancements are not available for cultural exchange. Her voice was melodic, but every note carried distance. Cold. Controlled. A wall of ice. Even the other Valorans, elegant, luminous beings, seemed more approachable than she was. After the session, when everyone else left, I lingered behind to pack up translation equipment. She remained in her seat. I hesitated. Princess Saraline, I said softly. If I may, have I offended you somehow? Her eyes lifted toward me, slowly, like a queen acknowledging a stray insect.
No, she said.
Just that. A single syllable colder than the void. Oh, I murmured. Because your demeanor suggested. She stood abruptly. My demeanor, she said, is not yours to interpret. Then she swept out of the chamber. Over the next several days, the frost didn't melt. It deepened. She avoided speaking directly to me. She instructed her assistants to relay her responses whenever possible. She left meetings the moment her part was finished, sometimes mid-sentence from our side. Everyone noticed. Maybe she hates humans, one ambassador whispered. Maybe she thinks we're beneath her, another muttered. But what confused me most was that, despite how cold she acted, she always insisted I be her translator. Why me? I asked her assistant one day. The assistant only gave a cryptic answer. The princess makes decisions for reasons that are her own. Cryptic and unhelpful. On the 8th day, the tension nearly snapped. A heated disagreement broke out between the human lead ambassador and the Valoran chancellor. Voices rose. Tempers flared. Translating emotional outbursts between two species that perceive emotion differently is a nightmare at the best of times. But this was worse. The chancellor accused humans of lacking discipline. The ambassador accused Valorans of arrogance. I tried desperately to smooth things over. Then the chancellor snapped. This is pointless. Perhaps the princess was correct in her assessment. The room froze. My heart skipped. Correct in what? I asked. His eyes darted towards Saraline, then away. She said humans were. Silence. Saraline's voice cracked like thunder. Her assistant bowed, terrified. The chancellor went pale. She turned toward me, her eyes burning, but not with hatred, with something deeper. I said nothing meant for your ears, she said. Her tone wasn't sharp, it was tight, strained. But I could feel something beneath it. Emotion. Pain? The meeting ended abruptly. She left the chamber like a storm. And for the first time, I felt frustrated. Not hurt. Not insulted. Frustrated because something wasn't right. She wasn't just cold. She was hiding something. But what? The answer came the next day. A new message arrived. Princess Saraline requests the human translator alone. Everyone stared at me. Take a recorder, the ambassador whispered. Take body armor, someone else muttered. I ignored them and followed two silent Valoran guards through the winding crystal corridors toward her private observatory. The doors opened soundlessly. She stood by a massive window gazing into a starfield of swirling blues and purples. Her posture was stiff. Hands clasped behind her back. Back straight. Perfect. Untouchable. Princess, I said with a formal bow. Do not bow, she said softly. Her voice startled me. Not cold, but tired. Forgive me, I said. I wasn't sure. You weren't sure how to behave around someone who treats you with hostility. I blinked. I had never expected her to say that. She finally turned. Her expression was still controlled, but her eyes, they held something raw. You ask yourself why I treat you this way, she said softly. Why I respond with frost instead of warmth. Why I appear distant. I swallowed. The thought did cross my mind. She exhaled a long, weary breath. Valorans do not express emotion as humans do, she said. We do not laugh to hide discomfort. We do not posture to feel important. We do not speak unless our words have meaning. I understand, I said. No, she replied. You do not. She stepped closer, closer than she had ever allowed herself before. For the first time I noticed the slight tremble in her hands. Humans, she said, provoke reactions in Valorans that we are not taught to control. Reactions? I echoed. She nodded once. Unpredictable emotional resonance. A distortion of harmonics. A shift in equilibrium. I feel them when I am near you. I had no idea what that meant. I cause you discomfort. She hesitated.
Yes. No.
She frowned. It is difficult to explain. She paced slowly, her frustration visible. When I first met you, she said, I heard your voice harmonics. Human voices are not meant to resonate with Valoran receptors. And yet yours does. Perfectly. I blinked. My voice. Yes, she murmured. Your voice struck a resonance chord in my neural lattice. A deeply personal one. Valorans share resonance only with family or...
She stopped.
Or what? I asked gently. She didn't answer. Instead, she lifted her hand to her throat, the place where Valorans sense emotional frequencies. It overwhelmed me, she whispered. Your presence overwhelmed me. I stared at her, stunned. I thought, she continued, that if I kept you at a distance, the resonance would fade. But it did not. And I feared.
She paused.
Feared what? I asked. That if I allowed myself to connect, she said quietly, my people would see it as weakness. Or vulnerability. Or desire. Silence stretched between us. Then she said something I'd never expected from the untouchable princess. I was afraid. I took a careful step forward. Saraline, I said softly, you don't have to be afraid of me. Warmer. Something fragile. Something real. Something that would change both of our worlds forever.